All right, thank you. Welcome to the Protective and Emergency Services Committee for September 16th. I want to call our meeting to order. Are there any declarations of conflicts of interest today? Councilor Durand is joining us online. You good, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have someone approve our agenda?
I'll move it.
Seconded by Councilor Durand.
Could we turn up Bobby's volume?
Not yet, but he will, I'm sure. And I'm going to need someone to approve our previous draft minutes from the 19th of August, moved by Councilor Ramsey, seconded by Councilor Durand. Are
Thank
there
you.
any businesses arising from those minutes?
Nope.
Good, okay. We'll move right into our reports and discussions for today. The first will be the operational report from our Deputy Fire Chief, Kent Mitchell.
Thank you, Chair. I'll do a quick summary. As you mentioned, it's a long meeting today. So this report is inclusive August 1st, August 31st. We had a total number of 43 fire prevention activities. We had emergency responses of 90 from the 2 stations and inspector call-outs. And we jump right into training with regular weekly trainings start in September. Specialized training will also include pump operator, building search and rescue, proposed advanced operations, upcoming confined space rescue, and medical first responder recertification. High-rise and advanced thermal imaging courses, engine operations, and a weekend event called Red Isle Training Days. The department was involved in Old Home Week as well as taking part in the Gold Cup and Saucer Parade. We started in the last couple of weeks, platoon chiefs John Chisholm and Mike McCrae. They began their positions in August, as did firefighter 2 Johnny Becerra. We'd like to thank John, Mike, and Johnny for their many years of service as volunteers and wish them continued success in their new positions. We are also seeing great interest in our volunteer firefighter campaign as well as our elite firefighter competition. The department will be hosting its annual CFD open house on Sunday, August 5th, and all residents, visitors, and councilors, friends, and families are encouraged to stop by Station 1 on Kent Street between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. to meet some of our members and see a lot of the specialized equipment and events. Chief Mamie will give an update on the Emergency Measures Organization status, provide a report in regard to the fast rescue craft replacement, and provide an update on the fire undergrounds survey progress. That's my report. Sure.
Are there any questions for our Deputy Chief Mitchell? Good.
No, I don't.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kent, for that update. Our second item on our agenda is our emergency measure operation preparation and plan update. And Tim, your chief, we're going to turn that over to you.
Thank you, Chair. So the purpose of this report is to provide committee with an update of the city's EMO preparations and the all hazards plan. And the intent is that the recommendation that the committee receives this report as information on the emergency measures preparations. This following last month's chair question regarding EMO preparation, so we put this together. Much work has been completed over the past several months by management and the strategic initiatives officer on both revision of the EMO plan and updating the EMO bylaw and updating the EMO plan. At this time, the bylaw revision is complete and has been reviewed by council, by the provincial EMO, and has been sent for final review by city's legal representative. The EMO plan has been heavily revised after extensive work researching the EMO Act and other municipal EMO plans. Revision is approximately 95% complete, and after final editing will also be brought forward for review by committee prior to full implementation. All department heads have been included in the final review and revision of the all hazards plan and have attended training sessions in May and June of this past year, and are regularly encouraged to review their assigned duties and responsibilities in the event of an EMO activation. All community partner memorandums of understanding have been updated for 2025, and partners are prepared to provide space, staff, and amenities for either a comfort center, reception center, or emergency center as previously confirmed with them what they're able to provide. Emergency shelter kits provided by the Provincial Emergency Measures Organization have been received and positioned at each of our city-owned reception centers, Malcolm Dara, Hillsborough, and West Royalty. Additional training for October will be scheduled for staff and council, and the Emergency Measures Organization is fully prepared with the revised EMO plan for any emergency situations we may experience. The EMO plan and the bylaw are part of a whole of the city approach to help determine the current and future needs to build upon the emergency measures needed, identified and addressed in both documents. And the good governance approach to all activities remains consistent and ensures sustainability is a core driving factor when assessing future climate-related emergencies as well. That concludes that report, Chair. Just to advise, EMO operations and preparations complete. If we were in the event of a future or pending emergency situation, we are fully prepared to deal with that.
Okay, thank you. And I'm just wondering, did we not have discussion before about like Sherwood Maplewood Room or Sherwood Hall being used also as a center?
We had discussions about that, I believe, with the office situation out there. It wasn't a great setup for, you're talking about the Cody Banks or no?
Well, Cody Bank, I didn't know, I knew we were looking at putting a generator somewhere to have another like center when we talk about that we've sheltered our kids by our city-owned reception centers, like,
Yes.
is that not gonna be included in part of that?
That wasn't something we were budgeting for, but we have all those spaces identified and be able to use, and there are some generation that are outside EMO, like for the facilities itself, Cody Banks is getting generation. I'm not sure what status that is, but that's more of a backup for the facility as well in case of no power. But that's also a facility we can use in some essence whenever we need.
And also, my next question to that is, do we get that information out to residents before there's an issue? Like, you know, if there's no power, how are people gonna know that this is what the plan is?
Yeah, as we've been meeting as communications and EMO as well, we've got with the communications officer, with Carly in her position with the emergency services, we've been talking about that and identifying how we can get those messages out in advance, and then when we have to deal with the emergencies throughout, how we're gonna be able to get some messaging out. So we are dealing with that, and we will be getting advanced messaging out there in a couple of different ways.
Yes, I think that's really good, especially as we're coming into the fall, is that we let people know that in the case of,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is when we would open the center. Like,
And
those
we've been
are the kind of
monitoring those
messages.
situations, and we can get some advance notices out there just about in the case of, but we don't have anything pending thankfully, and
No, exactly, exactly.
we'll follow through with that.
Could I ask a question there, Chair?
Absolutely, you can, Councillor Duran.
Okay, so just a background, we've been trying for a number of years to make the Sherwood Community Center a warming center or something in case of an emergency, and I appreciate you bringing that up. You know, we go back 5 years ago with the former chief. It was on the list to have a generator put in there. At that time, it wasn't in the budget. And then the next year, it was we were going to take the generator from the police station and put it in the Sherwood Hall. And then that came back and said, okay, we're not doing that this year, but next year we'll look at electrical upgrade so we can put the generator in. And then we went back and said, well, we were going to buy a generator, and that went into the budget. And now we're told again that it's not in the budget. We're not looking towards that. So you can sense my frustration as I try to tell you for 5 years or more. You know, we've been trying to get this as an emergency center, just like Malcolm Dare or Hillsborough, because when our power goes out, where do our residents go? I mean, there's downtown, they go to the Confederation Library. I think that was one area that was documented. But what happens here now, Tim? You know, all this time, we were supposed to order a generator and get it there. Can you give me an update of where we're at now?
Yeah, Councillor Round, thanks for that question. The generators and their purchase and installation was something that was exchanged between EMO and Assets Management in the last couple of years. So where we were at, like, we're still waiting as well on generator upgrade for City Hall, for Station 1 and the generator for Station 2. We haven't had any progress on any of those three assets. I will definitely check in on the Sherwood Community Center and see exactly where we're at and in that area what we have. We have over 40 community partners that are making space available. So in the event of power outage or we need to evacuate people, we will identify local spaces for everybody to be used, and we will coordinate transportation of that as best as we can as well, just like we did during Fiona. But I will follow up on the Sherwood Community Center in particular and get back to you, Councillor Duran, if that's okay.
I think he's correct that we did say that the police station was going to be in need of a new upgraded generator. And we were going to take the generator from the police station and apply, it was a portable, there was a portable one. It was a talk about a portable one, I think, wasn't it, Councillor Duran, where there was gonna be access to a portable one for now?
We do have two portable generators.
Yeah, I think
Within
one
the
of them
city.
was kind of
Fire
earmarked
station.
for his.
It's gonna be used where it's needed, like in the event that Station 2 went down and we needed power there, one would go there. But if we were going to power one of the other community centers, they all have their own generation now, but we used to position the whackers, they're called, at one of those locations. So we do have those two available and would put them wherever we could use them. But I'll definitely follow up on that and get some clarity.
So we looked at, just a follow-up question, Chair. We looked at when the police needed a backup generator for their building, and we were going to take that one out because the Sherwood Community Center was a lot smaller. So where are we with that? I mean, you say, well, we're still waiting. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, once again, to Councillor Drawn, in the transition from that generators and all of the work that was being done was located under EMO. It did transition assets management, but I can definitely get a follow-up for you and I'll get for committee a complete update next round on where we're at with generation and anything that the city's actually involved in implementing.
Okay, that's great with me. I don't want to put you on the spot anymore, but if you could have that report for the next meeting, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Definitely, and thank you.
We'll make
Councillor.
sure it's on the agenda, Councillor Duran.
Thank you.
Any other questions regarding the EMO report? So are we gonna be able to get a little update for full council on this, just on the whole overview of the plan? Would that be something that you would see as beneficial, or do you think?
To sit council down, you mean, or?
Well, just to overview them on kind of
Yeah, definitely.
that we're ready, and once the bylaw comes back, it'll have to come back to council anyway, but.
It will. We had the first revision back from legal and we'll get that second one in through.
Okay.
And come to council.
Okay, all right, if there's no other questions on that, we have, the next item is our fast rescue craft funding request from Chief Mamie, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Chair. The purpose of this report is to provide committee with a request for capital budget funding increase from 25-26 to replace our inoperable fast rescue craft. The recommendation is that committee supports this request and recommends forwarding the report to the finance committee and then to tender before final approval by council. Charlottetown Fire Department is requesting additional funding from the 24-25 capital budget for the purpose of the new replacement fast rescue craft. The currently approved budget of $100,000 was originally just for the propulsion replacement. We would require additional funding of $400,000 to bring the total to $500,000 for this purchase, and sorry for the typo in there. For the past several years, we have been nursing our current vessel while dealing with propulsion and hull maintenance issues. This summer, during a boat course being provided by the Coast Guard, our vessel suffered damage to the inflatable hull that was deemed irreparable and requires removal of our vessel from the water. This request for additional funding will allow for a new fast rescue craft tender to be posted in the coming weeks after proceeding through Finance Committee. All proposals would be reviewed and scored by a team of department members and a recommendation made back through Protective Services Committee for a new replacement craft. Council history, council has approved $100,000 in the original 24-25 capital budget for propulsion replacement and had previously approved the amount of $500,000 in the 23-24 capital budget that was not used during the fiscal year 23-24. During the budget deliberations where we needed to make some cuts, that was one of the areas that we cut some money. So we're looking for the additional funding of $400,000 to be put back into this current year's budget for purchase.
So we approved $500,000,
2 years ago.
right, and then what do you mean it was cut after it
We-
was already approved?
We didn't get the fast rescue craft purchased during that budget year.
Right,
And when we went into deliberations for this budget year, rather than carry the full $500,000 forward, because we were short on a couple of different areas capital, we cut that budget from 500 down to 1,000. We were just gonna replace the propulsion parts of the fast rescue craft, just the actual motors. But due to this
because this has been in our budget for like ever, right?
couple of years, we've carried it
Looking for money and looking whether we were gonna be able to partner with federal people, looking.
Correct, and we
so
had the
got anywhere
CAO,
with any of
the
that?
CAO spoke with the Sean Casey, the representative. I made some inquiries through the provincial methods. It's not a provincial responsibility, of course. We got nowhere with either of those, so that's why we're back here.
Yep, Councilor Ramsey.
Yeah, thank you for that, Chief. This has been going on for years.
It has been.
With our former chief and all that, and I've been bringing it up for years, and you just stated that it's federal waters, that they won't help us out, Providence not gonna help us out. Now we're up to $500,000 for a water safety craft, and I know lives are very important,
Quick, definitely.
but this is, it's at least 12 years that this has been in the budget, out of the budget, in the budget, out of the budget. And I know you're gonna put an RFQ up there to see what kind of price we're gonna get. But I don't know, because the Coast Guard's operating the waters also, and I know we're the first call.
We are,
If
and the
something
issue
happens.
is the
But it's so
inshore
frustrating
rescue-
after 14 years of hearing this story,
Yep.
that's in and out of the budget. Like, either we're gonna purchase this craft, or we're not gonna purchase this craft. Because as I said, when the former chief was here, he brought it up, and I've been hearing the same song and dance for 13 years. So we either gotta, well, I have to be careful what I say, either shit or get off the pot. But at the same time, you know, it's been going on so long, but we're up to $500,000 for a watercraft.
Hopefully, we don't have to spend that much. We're looking to have that in the budget to go to RFQ or request for quotations, but we'll definitely be in that ballpark, hopefully a lot less than that. There's some purchases that have been made by our neighboring communities that were a lot less than that, but they had some help from there's a rural, I forget what the fund is, but it's more appropriate to rural departments and the assistance from the province they get, so they have had some assistance in that regard. We don't meet
Yeah,
that.
it's funny, I was just wondering if you were in a shore town in Nova Scotia somewhere.
Yeah.
Are there municipalities funding these projects by themselves, or are they actually?
It's a combination. It's the same thing with, like I say, our neighboring partners, both the Crossroads and North River. Both they deal with that in different ways, and they've had that rural assistance from some of the provincial funding. We don't have that, like I say, because we're a city, so we don't have access to it. The issue with some of the other rescue entities that are down there is that they have a period. They're done when school starts, basically. Inshore rescue is now done, so they don't have that quick response down there, so the onus falls to Charlottetown to maintain the safety and for its residents and visitors in the harbor as well, right? So that's all we're looking at in that regard and for the request. The on and off for the purchase of the boat, I can speak to the last couple of years, and what happened there was we didn't get the tender out, we didn't make the purchase, and then with this coming year where we had to make some cuts, that was one area we looked at. Unfortunately, obviously, we're back here looking for the same amount that we had originally been requested the year before to get that purchase, and
Well, and I think there's damage to your boat.
there is
It's
now,
not even
it's
like,
completely done.
I'd like to hear from our CAO as far as those discussions that he's had with federal
Yeah.
level. Like, it would be nice to understand the perspective.
We can carry this over until we have that maybe discussion, I know he's not
So
available.
there's one
Right.
craft that's gonna be looking after it. And if you get a phone call from Stratford or Cornwall, that one watercraft's is the first response. They haven't got their own.
Yes, they do, yes, they do.
So
Yeah,
the
they
three,
But they also access funding from.
exactly,
Yes.
but the three, but now there's gonna be three crafts up there.
Well, they have different areas of jurisdiction, they don't come into
Yeah, West
Charlottetown.
River and-
Yeah,
yeah.
unless we call them, they're not here,
And fire's our first call.
yes,
Hmm.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the
that's
response that we can get there, right, so, it's an
Not that I
identified
don't
need.
think it's important, and I mean, if the
No, I'm the same
committee
way.
wants to push it through, I think it would be beneficial to have that information from our CAO and the correspondence with the federal level. I don't know if we can make a request for that. That should be included when we come to council, just so that, cause that is gonna be a question.
And I know it's very important because, we kept bringing it up, but it's a frustration thing. After 12 years, we still don't have the craft that we were told he was gonna have it. And $500,000 is a lot of money for a boat,
Oh, certainly.
Sounds like
In
they
my
hung
personal
on
opinion,
though.
as a
They,
layman,
but it sounds like they hung on because they still had one that was working enough.
That's what we did, we
Well, we kept doing repairs every year.
Correct.
did. And we're getting the authorized repairs done by the people that could do it.
Yeah,
And we had to send it to Nova Scotia for that and the rest of it, but
so you wanna wait
It's at
till
the
you
point-
hear from the CAO?
Or at least include, him be ready to kind of answer some of those questions about the discussions. I think
Sure.
that's an important piece for this. Councillor John, do you have anything you want to add on this discussion?
No, that's good. It's pretty frank and all the questions have been answered there. We just get going on it. That'd be great.
All right, so are you willing to put this on to move to council for,
No, it goes.
Sure, this
oh, it has
is
to
for
go
the
to
cap.
finance.
yeah, have to go through.
Right, finance and then council. Are we comfortable with pushing this through?
To finance, yeah?
Yeah.
Or are we
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
wait to hear
This-
from CAO's response?
Well, I think I'm just recommending that correspondence is included when it finally gets to council.
When it gets to council, yes.
Whoever-
Okay.
However it
Yeah.
gets there, I don't,
That
whatever
would
path they
expedite the
have to take
process
to
a bit
get to
too.
where it has to get.
No, I'm good with that.
And you're good with that, Councillor Duran?
Yes, I am, thank you.
Thank you very much, okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Fire underwriter's recommendation, final review, Chief Mamie.
Yes. Thank you, Chair. The report purpose is to, following the recent fire underwriters, several key recommendations were provided to improve our community's fire protection grading and overall public safety. The recommendations are essential in maintaining and potentially improving our current fire insurance grading, which directly impacts insurance rates for residents and businesses. The planning and completion of these recommendations will ensure that Charlottetown has the strongest, most effective, and safest NFPA 1720 combination department. Leadership strongly supports fire underwriters' recommendation and urges the Protective Emergency Services Committee to support a closed session presentation at October's committee meeting to detail the planning and scheduled requirements for financial, staff, and facility implications. This forward planning will provide for effective and sustainable fire service for our community now and into the future. The fire department is prepared to present a detailed action plan, including cost projections and funding opportunities at October's meeting. Following this presentation, department leadership would request that all recommendations and planning to fulfill the obligations detailed within be approved for a meeting of council to follow the October Protective Services meeting. We look forward to collaborating to improve the city's fire service levels, firefighter and public safety, and building the future of our fire service in our growing capital city. Some of the underwriters' key recommendations, as we mentioned in previous, construction of a new fire station. Possible locations for the new station are identified for review and need to be investigated for availability, cost, and environmental suitability. That'll be presented at the meeting. Increase in firefighting personnel. The current staffing levels have been and will continue to be adjusted throughout the planning cycle outlined, and will meet and exceed industry standards for an FBA 1720 combination departments in the provision of safe and effective emergency response. Investment in fire service infrastructure, modernizing current and building new facilities to meet evolving operational demands, upgrading existing apparatus and equipment to enhance efficiency and firefighter safety, and implementing new technology and communication systems to improve coordination and emergency response capabilities. And the investing in our fire service personnel, hiring, training personnel, and developing training curriculum for all levels of officers and firefighters, and enhancing professional development opportunities for all department members. A bit of the history on this, Charlottetown Fire Department received approval through resolution of council for the completion of a fire underwriter survey, including risk assessments and the determination of the optimized number and locations of fire stations to improve the fire and life safety capabilities of the fire department in the city. Financial implications, a detailed cost analysis will be presented to committee in October in a closed session before a recommendation to proceed to council and an open session for adoption of the report. The proposed investments in staff, apparatus, and facilities will be structured to balance financial responsibility with public safety priorities over a short and long-term planning process. That's basically the meat of the report, Chair.
That's good, I'm excited to get in here, the update to this report. My only thought, and I know we have process and we come through committee and we're gonna hear it and then we're gonna say, let's just go to council. Is there any way to leapfrog committee and go to council? We've already kind of had you in talking about this in closed session. To me, it just makes sense for everybody to just get to council and present to full council. Do you have any thoughts on that,
Special
Councillor?
meeting, you mean?
Well, at our meeting, if it's ready for October, whenever you're ready to come in and do it,
Yep.
I would think October, we just, instead of coming through committee for us to hear it, you might as
You and I
well.
mentioned something about a closed session first.
It would have to be closed.
It will be in a closed session
Yeah.
for full council,
Yeah.
Right.
rather than, to me, it just is more time, it's more time efficient and
I'm with you.
smart. It's, all of
Yep.
council has to make the decision. Councillor Duran, what are your thoughts on that?
No, that's a good idea. I agree with that, thank you.
Yes, I'm
Can we make leapfrog committee and move right to council? You move that, Councillor
Yes.
Ramsey, seconded by Councillor
Sure.
Duran? Okay,
Sure.
let's be efficient in our time.
I like that.
I like that too. Thank you. Get that going. Okay,
So we'll check with Tracy on the agenda items for October.
we also have, yeah, cause in October we have the guests coming in to present too, so.
Yeah, we'll just check agendas and see which one is gonna.
Go right to council, that makes sense, thank you. Thank you, fire people. We are now moving on to Chief Jennifer McCarron to talk about a new Charlottetown Police Service website, and I think she has Carly here, so I'm sure you're gonna tag team on the report or figure it out, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Sure.
Thank you, Chair. So in my short couple of months, actually 3 months back with the city, and specifically under the police department, I've had a chance to review the communications channels, the brand assets, and put forward a couple of internal recommendations that we've already applied. So hopefully you've seen that fresh face applied to, for example, our Facebook. Where I think we're lacking and what we've looked at internally is actually the website. It seems to have some limitations in terms of how we can use it and what we can do on the back end, but really how it was built. So ultimately that affects the end user. So our residents and business owners that want to go there for good information and to find some of our services and programs. So after that initial scan, I did initiate an RFQ. I reached out to 3 companies, all of which were local. One came back with a nicely detailed proposal. They followed up with a presentation and some more information, including their detailed quote. And it's a company that I'm familiar with because, for example, they've redeveloped the Slink Center website in the last few years here. I've tested that system. It looks great. Unfortunately, I did meet with another company, but they didn't get to the detailed quotation process. They just failed to follow up. And then the third company had responded, failed to attend the presentation meeting that we had scheduled, and then kind of limited their follow-up from there. So to be quite honest, I think the one that we've proposed here, Lake Design, coming in at $14,000 as the quote, is professional, their demonstrated experience, and we actually have experience with their back-end system. So it's a nice platform, and the way that they service clients is it's full service anytime you need them in terms of ongoing maintenance or questions, they're there and available. I know that our city website doesn't have that same sort of resourcing that comes from the website provider, whereas this one is different, and like I said, they are local. So it's a chance to kind of refresh the system, to update the content and make sure it's as user-friendly as possible. In terms of timeline, if this is something that can go forward, because it can fall under the existing advertising communications budget within the department itself, so it's not an additional ask. Their turnaround time for something like this, obviously with staff input, it's a dedicated project, can be around 4 months, 3 to 4 months. So it's a fairly quick turnaround, and we could see a new website by as early as early 2026. And that's something that I believe that I can staff and resource and support. So happy to take any questions that you might have.
I think that is good cost, and the cost is already in, so we're not talking money, and it's great. My only thing is, are we not incorporated into the full city's website too? Because I really think the whole city's website needs a good overhaul revamp as far as being able to navigate, being able to, you see a lot of the other municipalities, and it's really user-friendly when you're looking at a website. Find anything, I know we've all had frustration trying to figure out. So we're kind of a separate website as far as city police versus City of Charlottetown, are we?
Yes, and thank you for the question and comment. I did have that discussion with our internal communications department. And my previous municipal experience, and just looking at other municipalities, there seems to be a best practice where they are kept separate.
Okay.
There's 2 different purposes, and really on the scope for the city's website, I'll let the communications team speak to it any further, but it's a massive undertaking. That can be a 12 to 18-month project, and we're also talking lots of zeros, so over $100,000.
Yeah.
And typically a dedicated project person, including an IT staff, along with communications, and then every department's involved. Whereas this being one department, and I have the expertise and knowledge to do it, I can pretty well staff it and go to a few people in-house to get that done fairly quickly.
Wow, that sounds, I think it's great. The
It's just
more we
gotta go
can
to
be,
council because it's under 25,000. And it's in
Good
house
question.
money.
I'm not sure.
I mean, can we
Our
just not?
CAO's arrived, he
Well,
can answer
welcome
that,
to
that's
the-
awesome.
You know, with budgeted money, it should be a report process. And,
But we don't need council approval.
you take it to finance committee though, and
Yeah, I think we definitely wanna update council that this is happening. I think it's a good news story, actually. I think it's really important that they hear that we're, what a great way to build public confidence, but by having information out there and making it so that it's user-friendly and accessible for
As I
people.
say, like, that's one more step that you can sort of eliminate, right?
All the money's in the budget, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead.
Just to add to that, interim chief McCarron had asked me, can I create the vulnerable persons registry? And the answer is, well, yes, but our system kind of doesn't do that right now. So the new website allows us to do these other ideas, these other opportunities that are already best practices in other jurisdictions. So I want the answer to be yes, and this website would allow us to do that.
We can do better, and it's not a lot of money, and it works. I'm hopeful that we can get that on.
Sure.
So where does it go from here? Would it have to go to finance for approval if it's already in the budget? Right?
Wouldn't have to go for approval,
Right.
probably just for.
Information, yeah, for sure. Are you good to move that? Counselor Duran,
Sure, yeah,
do you have any questions on Carly's report?
no, perfect, thank you.
Awesome. Good.
Sure, sorry about being late, I was, just had another meeting.
Oh, that's good. You have some homework. We'll fill you in.
Surprise, isn't it?
It's good homework.
Surprise.
It's communication, it's information. Thank you. We're moving on to our final report. My goodness, we're efficient in here. The proposed bicycle task force, Chief Jennifer McCarron.
So, Charlottetown, like many other Canadian municipalities, continues to be faced with the ongoing issue of bicycle thefts. Although bicycle thefts are a criminal code offense, they are considered a crime of opportunity, ranging from bikes being left unattended to low-quality locks, easily being cut and high-value model bikes, 5,000 and over, and e-bikes. Being targeted, Charlottetown Police has a number of operational measures it deploys to help prevent bicycle thefts, but encourages owners to be proactive and diligent with their own bicycles. Some of the numbers, in 2023, we had 71, say year-to-date, as of August 31st. 2024, we had 88, and then in 2025, we had 111. CPS will continue to promote bike theft prevention tips and its bike registration program through its website and social media channels, Facebook for reference. Our website has a page dedicated to the bike registration and prevention tips. Our most recent post on this topic was made August 8th following the theft, followed by the theft operation conducted on August 13th where we had a sting, set out a decoy bike and arrested a few for trying to steal it. Prevention tips are never leave your bike unlocked or unattended. Secure your bike with a chain lock or a U-lock, depending on the value. Lock at least one wheel and the frame to be fixed to a fixed object. Take a photo of your bike and the serial number. Add a tracking device to your bike. More expensive bikes. Lock and store your bicycle indoors. Do not leave it unattended on a vehicle rack or for an extended period of time. If your bike is stolen, call the police, report it as soon as possible. The bicycle owner will be asked to provide as many details as possible, such as make, model, color, along with any distinguishing marks or features unique to their bike, along with the photo and serial number. Residents can register their bike with the Charlottetown Police Services. In the event that the bike is stolen, it can be easily and quickly identified, retrieved and returned to the owner. You can locate that at charlottetownpolice.com/bike registration. We'll continue to proactively promote bike theft prevention tips in the bike registration program. Operationally, we will also continue to analyze crime statistics and trends to effectively deter offenders. In addition, bicycle thefts can be specific within the theft section of the monthly statistics report to council.
Counselor Ramsey.
Chair McCabe. Chief, thank you for this. What's the recovery approximately? Like, right now, we got 111 so far missing. Would it be 10% that you might be able to get the bike back, approximately?
Yep.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
The higher end bikes seem to be the easiest to get back.
What is it?
The higher end,
Okay,
the electric bikes, because they do take their serial numbers down and they
okay,
that way. It's the less expensive bikes from Canadian Tire that, once they're stolen,
they're going.
they're painted,
Yeah, okay.
everything's.
No, I just wonder what, how many percentage we had there, you know, out of 111 so far.
Yeah.
You know, okay, thank you.
Thank you for your report, Counselor Duran. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't, thank you.
Good tips to lock your bike. We're gonna get on one. Yeah. Where are we here? Back to the agenda. Is there any introduction of new business today for our committee?
See none?
Counselor Duran?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so just to recap, we are going to have a closed session of the fire underwriters recommendations. CIO Brad, that's not gonna bother coming with leapfrog committee, we're gonna recommend that go right to council for a closed session. And on the on the Firecraft, there's been some discussions, we understand, between you and federal representatives on discussion about some cost sharing that might occur. So we're just gonna look for some sort of information coming back to council on where that's at. So,
Where I'm looking for the increase in the capital budget this year.
yep, so that was your homework, just to be able to speak to that when you come to council, because council will wanna know why. So that was kind of it. And other than that, with no introduction of new business, I will ask for someone for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Ramsey, Councillor Duran, thank you very much for your time. Everyone have a
Thank you.
wonderful day.